The moment I realized they no longer remembered my sacrifice did not come with loud words or any big fight. It came in a quiet evening, in my own home, when I heard them talking as if I had never built anything at all. I am an old woman now. 92 years of life have passed, and most of those years were spent inside this house. I laid the first stone with my husband. We had dreams back then, simple dreams. A warm home. A safe place for our children. A place where no one would ever feel alone. I raised 3 children here. I cooked every meal in this kitchen. I stitched every curtain with my own hands. I worked in the garden so my family could eat fresh vegetables. My husband and I saved every small coin to keep the roof in good shape. We worked quietly, lovingly, without expecting anything in return. As I grew older, my children moved on with their own families. I understood that. Life changes. People have their own paths. But a mother never stops remembering. In the last few years, small tensions began to appear, nothing loud, nothing sharp, just soft misunderstandings, like thin cracks spreading across a wall. My daughter-in-law often said, "Mother, you should rest." But I could hear a tiredness in her voice, as if my presence added extra weight to her day. Sometimes I would hear them whispering in the next room, "Maybe we should shift her to the smaller room." My son said once, "She cannot climb the stairs anymore," she replied. "It's better for everyone." They spoke out of practicality, I suppose. They never meant to hurt me. Still, something inside me changed. I felt like a guest in the home I had built. Then, one morning, I heard them discussing the idea of selling the house. My son said, "It's too big now. We don't use half of it. We could buy something smaller." My daughter-in-law added softly, "And the old place needs so much repair." I stood quietly near the doorway, listening. They did not know I was there. My heart did not break loudly. It simply grew heavy, like wet clothes left out in the rain. They never once mentioned the hands that built this home. The sacrifices made. The years poured into its walls. Not once. The turning point came on a rainy evening. The sky was dark, and the sound of water filled the whole house. I was sitting at the dining table, folding an old sweater I had knitted for my son when he was young. The front door opened, and I heard their tired steps. They thought I was asleep. They began talking in the living room. "We should decide soon," my son said. "Yes," she replied. "And if we sell, we must think about where to keep Mother. Maybe with your sister for a few months." The words slipped out so easily, so casually, as if I were an item that needed storage. I felt something inside me become very still. I remembered the nights I stayed awake when he had fever. I remembered the mornings I walked miles to his school when he forgot his lunch. I remembered saving money quietly so he could complete his studies. I remembered every ache, every sacrifice, every small step I took to build his life. Yet now, at 92, they spoke as if I were only a responsibility to move around. A flash of lightning lit up the room. In that moment, I felt the deep truth settle in my heart. They no longer remembered my sacrifice. Not fully. Not the way I had held theirs in my memory all these years. I closed my eyes and let the sound of rain calm my trembling hands. The next morning, I made tea for all of us. My hands shook a little, but my voice stayed calm. When they sat at the table, I smiled softly and said, "Children, do not worry about me. I will be fine." My son looked confused. "Mother, what do you mean?" "I have lived a long life," I said. "And I know you have your own families now. You should make whatever decision feels right." He tried to interrupt, but I held his hand. "My dear," I continued, "a home is not made of bricks alone. It is made of memories. And I have many, many memories here. They are enough for me." My daughter-in-law looked down, her eyes growing soft. She whispered, "We never meant to hurt you." "I know," I replied gently. "People forget things. It happens. Life moves fast. But I want you both to remember one thing: love does not ask for anything in return. I gave what I could. Now you must live your own journey." A long silence filled the room. The kind of silence that holds truth inside it. They did not repeat their plans that day. They simply sat with me, drinking tea, remembering things they had forgotten, and in that small moment, I felt a quiet peace returning. Now, when I sit by the window and watch the light fall across these old walls, I remind myself of one simple truth: nothing we give from the heart is ever wasted. Even if others forget, our sacrifice remains written in the life we helped build, and sometimes, that reminder is enough to carry us through the soft sadness of growing old.